okay, what's his name? Killed Sharon Tate, swastika on the forehead, California, crazy...
Charles Manson.
Charles Manson. Hi, I'm Jill Maurer. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about Mindhunters, and this is a new show that I discovered on Netflix. I watched the whole season and I like it a lot. I do want you to know that I won't spoil the show for you. Most of what I tell you is generally what the show is about, and it won't spoil anything for you. So Mindhunters takes place, it starts in 1977. If you like shows like CSI, Criminal Minds, and Law & Order SVU, this is the story of how the profiling section or department or whatever they call it of the FBI started. This is where it all began. And it's based on the true story of how that happened. The two main characters, who are fictional but based on real people, are Holden Ford and Bill Tench. Holden Ford is the young FBI guy and Bill Tench is the older seasoned FBI guy. And what they're doing is they're going around the country teaching police officers how to solve murders. And while they're doing that, they started interviewing killers who were particularly famous or committed particularly heinous crimes and who had killed more than once. What they are discovering at this time in 1977 is that up until that point, most murders occurred between people who knew each other. So somebody, if you were looking for a criminal who had killed somebody, you'd be looking at a family member or somebody who felt like the victim had wronged them. It was usually a very personal crime with very few exceptions. And what they were seeing was this proliferation of murders between strangers. So somebody was just killing to kill, and they were doing it more than once. And this was an odd thing. It's not that it had never happened in history, but it was pretty rare up until this point, and they were seeing it happen more. And that is a more difficult crime to solve because you can't start with the world of people that the victim knew. So one of the guys gets the idea to start interviewing criminals and seeing what they can learn from them. And they didn't even have a name for these people. They called them sequence killers, people who had killed 3 or greater people. And during this time, they coined the phrase serial killer, and they start trying to categorize these serial killers, all in an attempt to help catch future and current serial killers. The two characters are interesting because the younger character, Ford, he's actually really very much in his element talking to the serial killers. He is in there in prison with them, and these killers have nothing to gain by this. I mean, the biggest thing they're really going to get is pizza and Coke or something. I mean, they're not really getting anything from it. And so Ford is good at making them want to tell their story and letting them brag. And whereas Bill Tench gets very frustrated and he can shut them down because he just quips at them and he's disgusted by them. Alternatively, on the other side of that coin, when they are helping the police solve crimes, Ford can get kind of frustrated with them and what they know and they don't know. Whereas Bill Tench is much more, because he's older probably and just his personality, he is better able to make them feel at ease, make them realize we're all on the same team here and nobody's judging you. We are going to help you through this crime and ask you a lot of questions, but what you really bring to the table here is a good knowledge of the community, and that's critical, and we're all going to work together to solve this crime. And so they made a good team in that way. What I really liked about this show is that they take this concept of these serial killers, which is just so heinous and so disgusting, and they try to break it down. They interview them to break it down and explain it. And while the profiling area has been around for a long time now, most of us don't understand what's going on. And so we're able to go back and look at it with new eyes, like the characters are looking at it with new eyes. And it's a pretty interesting thing to see. What's particularly disturbing about the show is that a lot of the serial killers, when they're being interviewed, are really not monsters, or they don't appear to be monsters. And so you know that they are, but one of the guys in particular, I actually went back and saw some of his footage, the actual footage, to see if they were representing it accurately, and they are. And what's so creepy, this killer, his name is Ed Kemper. And what's so creepy about this guy is that he's really nice. He's very nice, he's charming, he's intelligent, he's very thoughtful and reflective about what he's done, at the same time that he is calmly and collectively telling you about these horrific, just horrific things that he's done. So in contrast to, say, Charles Manson, when I've seen video of Charles Manson, to me, he seems not crazy, but like he's just trying to be crazy. It just seems like a weird act, and you just look at him and go, okay. But Ed Kemper is terrifying in his intelligence and eloquence and charm. It is really, really creepy. If you're wondering about gore, there's really not a lot of gore in the show. There is gore before the first credits of the first show, and that's it. After that, they're talking about heinous things, and they will show some photographs, evidence photographs, but you don't see the murders take place on screen. So if that's important to you, that's the level of gore there. I'm excited to learn that they are already starting to film season 2, so I'm looking forward to that. If you haven't seen Mindhunters, I hope you do see it. If you have, I'd love to hear what you thought about it. Please tell me in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And I hear I'm also supposed to ask you to like this video if you like it. So I guess there's a button, and like it if you like it. I'll see you next time.